Hello, my name is Monse Hernandez. I'm a current student here at the Institute for Advanced Analytics at NC State. And with me today, I have Sam Dotson, who is a 2024 graduate of the program. Sam now works as a research associate at the NC State Belk Center, and she is also a data scientist consultant with McDowell Technical Community College and is also a PhD student here at NC State. So a long, long list for a great alumni here at the Institute.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, before we get into what you're currently doing and how you got there, I wanted to start off by asking you, what was your experience here at the IAA and in what capacities, if any, are you still connected to the IAA alumni?
Great question. Overall, I had a really amazing experience at the Institute. I mean, obviously, it's a really fast-paced environment. You're learning a lot of rigorous content really, really fast with really quick turnarounds. But truly, what made my experience so great was the people I was surrounded by. I loved my faculty members. I also loved those on staff, and I loved most of all my practicum team. So we were stuck together for the whole time, but the Institute did a really good job at teaming us up. Over time, we just got really close. We bonded over having a pretty difficult project, but it was all okay because we had each other. And yeah, our team just kind of turned out to be super compatible, and we loved doing working sessions together. Sometimes we would order pizza to the Institute if we were doing like a late night dinner session, or we would go out to lunch together on Fridays. Everything was just fun, and it really made my experience so enjoyable. And those are definitely the people that I keep most in touch with now after graduation. The practicum group chat that we had while we were at the Institute is still alive, and we'll check in on each other, even though we're all in very different places now. Definitely still keep up with everyone. So, yeah, the people truly make the experience at the Institute.
Yeah, I definitely would have to agree with that. Halfway through the Institute now, and definitely the people, the faculty members here are all amazing.
Totally.
And they definitely do pick the practicum team with a lot of care. So
They
that's,
do.
yeah, awesome. So I mentioned earlier that you have a long title to what you do and all the hats that you wear. Focusing specifically on your position right now as a data science consultant with McDowell Technical Community College,
Yeah.
what would you say are some strengths you acquired from the institute that you use most there?
Mm, great question. I feel like the obvious answer is, learning how to code really well and learning how to perform analyses on big data sets and things. But I think truly the greatest strength that I learned at the institute that I use in that job is being able to communicate technical topics. Dr. Egan Warren was my communication professor while I was at the institute, and she did such an amazing job at teaching us how to talk about these difficult topics to audiences who may not know anything about statistics, don't know anything about programming languages, um, but they have serious questions that they need answers to, and so they seek help from people like us to help them get to that answer. And so, my technical writing skills, being able to present about technical topics but make it easy to comprehend and digest, that is definitely the biggest skill I use in my work. Um, Education is definitely an industry where people don't really think about data people in education as
Mhm.
much as they might in banks or finance companies, tech companies, things like that. But data is really serious in education, and there's not a whole lot of technical people, but that doesn't mean that the work doesn't need to get done. And we want everyone to be able to understand the work that's going on and to find value in it. So, yeah, technical communication, it's not something that a lot of people going into the institute are thinking about when they're thinking about learning, but it's so important and definitely my biggest strength coming out of the institute.
Definitely, 100% agree. when I was applying to the Institute, I didn't realize how much the Institute focuses on technical communication.
Yeah.
But now I see like the impact that it definitely has and how each alumni can definitely speak to that as a great strength that they take from the Institute.
Yeah, for sure. I think I remember this one quote. It was like, it doesn't matter if you write 500 lines of
Mhm.
code. If no one understands your code, then it doesn't mean anything, which at the time felt really harsh, because as students, you're working so hard doing these really complex things. But if the audience member or the person that you're doing this work for can't understand it or can't find value out of it, then your hard work doesn't get to show. So,
Mhm.
yeah, communication is super important.
Yeah, definitely. Data is numbers, but we can tell a whole bunch of wildly different stories from that.
Yes, for
So,
sure.
yeah, faculty here does an amazing job preparing us for that.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned about going back to higher education. What
Mm,
prompted you to return to come back to NC State and get your PhD?
yeah. A pretty unconventional path post institute. Most people graduate and they work really amazing jobs in maybe non-education fields most of the time. Bank, tech, finance, consulting, things like that. Um, is just the majority. But my first job out of the Institute was working as a regional director of analytics for 3 community colleges. Um, and I fell in love with my job. I fell in love with being in a college every day. I loved getting to use my data skill sets to help students be more successful. It was truly just like an amazing experience. And my first supervisor at that job, kind of sat me down and was like, if you really do love this and you want to grow professionally, throughout the rest of your career, you're going to need a PhD in conjunction with my amazing master's degree, but definitely going to need a PhD. So that was totally fine by me. I was really excited about the idea of returning to school. I love being in the classroom, and that's why I like working for people who have classrooms as well. And so it just so happened that the Belk Center for Community College Leadership and Research is here at NC State, and they welcomed me with open arms in ways that I get to use all the skills that I learned at the Institute for higher ed research, which is super amazing. And then the PhD program is kind of married inside of the Belk Center. So they work hand in hand together. All of it's, one big happy family. So, yeah, NC State just ended up being the perfect place for me to do this. And I still get to use all the things that I learned at the Institute and do my higher ed research. So, yeah, it was just the perfect solution to me getting a PhD. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I also wanted to shout you out as being recently published. That is
Oh, thank you.
an IA
Yes.
alumni. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing your very different experience from the
Mhm.
IA post-graduation, but a very cool and interesting one that I am so glad I got to highlight today. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for your time, Sam.
Oh my gosh, yeah, thanks. And any one new student might be watching this.
Mhm.
I hope you know that you can really do anything you want because data is everywhere and these skills are so transferable to anything that you're passionate about. So you can do whatever with this degree and everything will be great.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you.
Bye. Stop recording.